Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prairie Grown Reviews YouTube channel. We review books, games, movies, and TV shows. So today, we are back for episode 2 of WandaVision. So boys, non-spoiler thoughts. Let's get into this. Nat, you first this time, because Austin always steals your thunder.
I'd say this episode was a lot trippier, kind of. There's a lot more weirder stuff that happens that doesn't have to do with the actual sitcom stuff. No spoilers, but it was definitely more focused around the story that's outside the actual sitcom. Other than that, still a really enjoyable episode. I think I like this one better, probably because more based on the story that's surrounding outside the sitcom. Definitely enjoyed that, learning about the lore of this show, and overall, good episode.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. For anybody wondering, I was just trying to read my own writing. It's tough when you write like a 4-year-old. Regardless, this was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. I think I liked it more than the first one. We sort of start to see the ball move a little bit on the actual plot, whereas compared to the first episode, we were just sort of watching an episode type of thing, right? So we get more character development. We push the plot a little bit further, and like Nathaniel said, we get some really, really weird vibes from this one throughout, which gives it a new spin, which I kind of enjoyed, but it does still feel super weird. So
Yeah, definitely. This show continues to do that. It's sitcom atmosphere, but like you said, there's more. Like I mentioned in the last episode. There's some creepy moments. There's some moments that feel off. There's more of those, and I like that. And they were well executed. Also felt the comedy was maybe a little stronger in this one. I laughed a little more. I laughed a lot in the first episode, but I laughed a lot in this one too. Yeah, overall, it's a good episode that gets the ball rolling on the rest of the season.
absolutely.
So, any more non-spoiler things you want to say?
Commercial's awesome again. 2 for 2.
Yes,
Of course,
2 for 2.
always.
I'm excited for more. So we are going to move on to our spoiler section in 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, welcome back to the spoiler section. So let's jump right in. And we open with a cute little scene of them sleeping in separate beds as it was on TV back then. Married couples can't sleep together.
Nope.
But then something hits the window and we get to see this little comedic scene where Vision keeps checking, but he gets kind of scared and Wanda's using her powers to turn the light on. Yeah, it was a cute scene. Did you guys like it?
Yeah, I'm sure you have tons of experience with being scared of like tree branches and stuff on the window. So this one must have felt really good to watch somebody with powers be scared of the same things as you, Sebastian. But all jokes aside, that was really a hilarious scene because they were both simultaneously. We sort of saw the same kind of dynamic as we saw at the start of the first episode, where no, I'm not scared. You're scared, right? Type of those interactions that you see in everyday life quite a bit, and that's what makes it so relatable and kind of fits that sitcom cube to say. So I really thought that was a really good scene. So
Well, I found it extra funny because these characters have technically gone through Endgame, and they fought alien monsters from who knows where, and they're scared of a tree branch.
Yep.
It's kind of funny that way because these people have fought Thanos and whatever crap he can do, and then they're scared of a tree branch in the middle of the night. I mean, I guess it could be PTSD if you think about it too. I don't know if it's that deep of a thing that this story is trying to convey, but people can theorize.
could be, yep.
Yeah, it was quite funny. And then we move right along into our second different intro. They have a new intro. This one's animated.
Yep.
I liked it, though. I think I liked the first one maybe better. But the animation was cool, and the way they showed their day-to-day lives and the power use was cool. I think and I hope they do a new one every episode with a different style. That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be really cool. Anybody else get a Jetsons vibe?
Yeah, I did.
That's what I was feeling.
Yeah.
From that intro, that was exactly first thing that came to mind was that. So I'd agree with you, Sebastian. I don't think it was quite as good as the first one, but it was different, which was nice.
Yeah,
and so it'd be super cool to see 9 different intros. It's a lot of work and a lot of creativity depending on where we end up going with the show later down the road. If we move away from the sitcoms, it may not fit quite the same, but it'd be a really cool touch, same as the commercials, right? So
yeah, exactly. So speaking, let's just this is a little off topic, but let's move into that commercial since you brought it up. So we get Strucker watches. Now, for all of those who watched our Marvel videos or who have watched the movies themselves, Baron von Strucker is the one who experimented on Wanda and her brother Pietro, and gave them their powers. And then the opening scene of Age of Ultron is the Avengers capturing him. So that was a nice little Easter egg, and of course you get the Hydra logo.
And Hydra tough.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for the second episode in a row, Sebastian is very fluent in French. Just remember this, people. His English lacks a little bit.
Fair enough. So then so the opening after the credit scene, we get to see they're putting on a magic show. There's like a talent show going on in the town this week, and they are for the children. Yes. A kind of creepy cult saying they have throughout the episode.
Yeah.
But their magic act is purposefully a little bit fake. You can tell based on anyone who's seen a magic act before how the trick's done. So it's kind of cheesy, but it's cute, and you get to see the two of them be a little romantic again with their telling them how good they look and all that. And yeah, I think it's a good setup for an episode, this magic show. So yeah. And then we move along. Vision and Wanda go their separate ways for the day up until the show. And Wanda hears a crash outside, and we see our first thing in color. We see this little toy helicopter with the sword logo on it. What were your guys' reactions to that toy helicopter? Or thoughts?
Well, I mean, seeing it in color was definitely a shock because, you know, it's the first thing we see in color, and it was a helicopter of all things. I guess this all plays back into our whole simulation theories and how someone's probably placing these in somehow, maybe to send a message, potentially. I don't know. I don't think we have quite enough information to really decipher what it really means.
Nope.
But I think when that helicopter came, it was more like me thinking, okay, there's more that's happening. I need to find more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest, I totally missed the sword logo right over my head, but I thought the helicopter was a lot more of a symbol than it appears to be. We don't know if it's put there on purpose or, I mean, it's hard to say until we know who's behind the radio, which we'll get to, and who's actually behind the potential simulation or whatever in the world we have going on right now. Obviously, we know something's not quite right. We just don't know what the root cause is yet.
Yeah. No, my prevailing theory right now is that someone placed that in there as a message trying to either jog Wanda's memory or something. Maybe she had something that happened before she ended up in this simulation or whatever. Or whatever
Endgame.
this is.
Endgame.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping that or hoping they could have another explanation, but that's my theory right now is that that's what it is.
Yep.
So then we meet another new character in Dottie, who she's kind of mean, kind of controlling.
Cult leader. That's all I gotta say. That's my entire input for this piece. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Now, what do you think of her?
Cult. No, it's definitely a cult. I don't know. For the children,
Something
guys.
weird.
For the children.
For the children. Yeah, that's what I wrote. I wrote like cult leader and then for the children.
Yeah.
And so while we're there, we meet Geraldine, who's another new character, who's in most of the episode. So who knows, maybe she'll be reoccurring as well. But I liked her. She seemed pretty nice and a little, but she also said she doesn't know who she is. So maybe there's some more real people in there and they are also confused on what's going on.
Could be. Very well could be.
So then we get a radio message that happens with Wanda and Dottie, and it's very staticky and it cuts through whatever song's playing, and they just keep repeating Wanda, and then they finally get another piece in, which is who's doing this to you. So my thing that made me pop in is maybe Wanda's trapped here. Like maybe someone's putting her here. Maybe it's not her simulation. but there is evidence to the contrary before. They are definitely keeping us on our toes about that. What do you guys think of the message?
Nat, go ahead, because I got a low probability theory to drop on everybody. So go ahead.
All right, sounds good. Definitely was kind of creepy. And then the way I think Dottie's reaction to the whole thing seemed kind of off too to me. It seemed like she was snapping out of some sort of trance or something like that. And then as soon as the radio thing was over, she like snapped, like she like returned to her like, I guess her simulation persona. I think we're all in agreement this is probably a simulation, so I'll call that her simulation persona. Message itself wasn't like too deep. There wasn't really too much substance to it, but it was weird and out of the character for like a sitcom, right?
Yep.
So there's definitely more that's happening. It's part of the overarching story, but as usual, we still don't have too much information yet, so it's only just mainly speculation.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I got 3 points. Point 1, we see our second occurrence of color when Dottie absolutely destroys the glass with her hand, cuts herself open, which was very red in the gray background. Secondly, we get a great moment where Wanda thanks Dottie for picking her to clean up with her. So that was hilarious. Probably a little bit underlooked because of what occurred directly after, but I thought that was a great moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then the radio had me wondering, this is probably the theory I have the least amount of faith in, but what if we have a simulation that's like coma induced or something?
Oh, yeah, that could be too.
And so she's like, I have like no faith in this, but I'm going to go with it. So she's like totally knocked out or whatever have you. Somebody drugged her sometime after between this and Endgame, whatever, right? So it's all inside her noggin, but nobody can get her out of it.
That could be as well. That's not a bad theory. I mean,
part of me thinks the trailer disputes that a little bit, but I don't have enough. I don't remember the trailer good enough to say that for sure. So that's my bottom of the barrel. Everything else goes wrong theory.
Sweet.
That is a decently valid theory. So moving on to the Vision side of things, we have Vision going to the library for the neighborhood watch meeting. They call him a square, which as a robot, he's probably as square as you can get. And the neighborhood watch isn't really much of a neighborhood watch. It's more of a gossip meeting for the guys.
With Danishes.
With Danishes.
This is the best representation of guys going golfing I've ever seen. For anybody else who understands what I mean, it's exactly that. I love it. It's hilarious. It's a little bit of a different looking division, and it's fantastic.
Yes, and Vision nearly gives himself away with the fact that he does not eat food.
Yes.
Yes.
He didn't accept the Danishes.
No.
But he took the
what
gum.
happens? Oh, yes.
Definitely
what
took the
happens
gum.
with the gum?
He gets drunk off gum, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that works exactly, but I don't know. With the way the animation looked, I thought he would just like stop functioning.
Me too. That's
all his
what
like
my
cogs
thought
are
was.
like stuck like that. I don't know. It just feels like he just go like that and just be completely like exposed, right? But I guess he's drunk if he has gum.
I mean, he's the most advanced robot ever created. So, like, I guess maybe he could probably, like, he did in the first episode, he digested wine or something. Like, he had a sip of whatever.
Yeah.
So there's obviously some way, but maybe gum stickiness just stuck things together.
Doesn't run through him,
Yeah, and he was drunk. It was funny. And then he stumbles his way to the talent show where him and Wanda are about to perform, and let's just open it up with the talent show. That's a hilarious scene.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll talk about it.
Yeah,
then.
you talk now.
Okay.
Before we take your thunder again.
For the children. Anyways, definitely felt like a cultic like meeting of some kind when they said for the children, super monotone. I don't know if I like that. I mean, kind of like it made me kind of feel like, okay, interesting. I'm kind of interested in that, but like also kind of freaked out. All good. And then I guess the best part of the talent show has to do when like Vision's using his actual powers to do all his magic tricks, and then Wanda has to come up on the fly with like real world solutions to everything. It's like the ropes, the mirrors. I found that really funny. And they just shoved Geraldine into like the the cardboard piano. And I feel what was his name?
Oh, what
Oh, I
is
don't
his
Oh
name?
remember.
man, I
Yeah,
forgot his
dude
name
with
again.
the big mustache.
It's the same guy from the first
Oh,
episode.
yeah, it
But I
is.
couldn't figure his name.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
got fired?
yeah.
Unemployment line,
Well,
buddy. Yep.
Yeah.
but anyways, he lost his piano. Unfortunate, but I mean, good cover. And yeah, I just think Geraldine being shoved in the box is hilarious
Yep.
because she obviously didn't think she was part of anything, right?
Ew.
Other than that, it was fun seeing. It was fun to see like Wanda flustered, trying to figure how to, protect their identities. Overall, pretty
Yep.
great. I mean, Drunk Vision, 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Would recommend.
his card trick was definitely his best trick. Just
Ah,
your
yes.
card,
Is it this
and
one?
then he just goes like super speed.
Is this your card? Well, if you want it so bad, keep it.
Yeah. No, that
My
was good.
apologies, Larry. Or no, Sherbert. My apologies, Sherbert. Keep your card.
It's Herbert. Okay.
And then they win the prize for comedy, which I didn't know that was an option in a talent show, or this talent show, but that was quite interesting.
I think when you're the cult leader, you can come up with whatever prizes you'd like to give out.
That's true. That is true.
Side note, real quick, before you do anything, Seb, gotta say their way of like sneaking away. Worst way I've ever seen someone to sneak away. You're gonna sneak away, you're gonna walk right past.
To just
No,
the
just
hat.
go like behind, right? Like there's the backstage. You keep walking that way, go around the block, right? Nah, we're gonna like wear the hat. Like Wanda's gonna wear the hat, which looks super like suspicious. Definitely not. But it's just gonna walk right in front of everyone. No one's gonna see us, right? No.
That was
Definitely found that pretty funny.
classic celebrity hiding from paparazzi stuff. The exact vibe I got out of that. So
Exactly.
Literally. And then they go home and they have a little romantic moment and they're all happy. And then they're just talking and maybe it was all the for the children talk, but Wanda's got a baby bump. Just pops out of thin air. And then they hear a noise and they walk outside and they see this man emerge from the sewers in a beekeeper outfit surrounded by bees. And Wanda looks at him and she
As one
says
does.
no. And it just rewinds like a VHS. And so what do you guys think of that?
I thought that beekeeper was dope.
Mm-hmm.
I was
yes,
a little bit worried to begin with. I don't know I still don't know whether he was good, whether he was bad, whether he was just some random dude stuck in the sewer. That seems very unlikely.
I
But
mean, why would you have bees in the sewers, right? Like, and there are bees with them. Like, the bees don't hang out in the sewers.
makes
No.
no sense.
That's not
Makes
right.
no sense. That was like
I
the
wanted to see more
biggest
of them.
fragment of them all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So
What do you think of the rewind, Nat?
Hilarious. I don't know. This is Wanda saying no and everything just going back. I don't know. It like
Yeah.
puts I guess puts on gives some evidence to maybe Wanda's in charge of all this simulation stuff. There's a good chance because it was her saying no, not like Vision was saying no or some like overarching narrator being like nope, going back, right?
Yep.
So I guess
Yep.
Wanda has some sort of influence in this world.
at least a little bit of control. Yeah. Exactly.
And once they return to the house, they play through the Vision's reaction to the pregnancy once again, but then something else happens. They start changing to color. And you see Vision's red face, and you see Wanda's wearing red clothing, and you see that they are back to color again. After 2 episodes, and who knows how long they've been in the simulation, they are finally back to some sort of color.
Yep.
Also, on a side note, I almost forgot about this, but did you guys realize the house changed the interior changed in between episodes? They didn't have a staircase in that first episode, like a staircase leading upstairs.
You're right.
Yeah, that first
I didn't
episode,
notice that.
they walk right into the kitchen, and then there's the staircase.
That's a good Easter egg.
Yeah, so the house is changing with the
Yep.
with the style of sitcom and with the times. So
That's nice.
that's really interesting, and I'm excited to see how it continues to change
Yeah.
to a
Absolutely.
more modern look.
Speaking of Easter eggs, we actually had our first Easter egg between this episode and the last episode. So for anybody who watched the first one, Sebastian calls Vision purple. I didn't say anything at the time. Maybe figured he was colorblind or a little something, whatever. I was going to give it to him. And then today he called him red. So we just like to clarify, Vision is not purple. We can move on now.
Yes, though he is I don't know, he's not like a dark red. He's not like, I don't know what he is.
So he's even further from purple than possible.
He's not purple.
No, he's not purple. He's not purple. I'll give you that. He's not purple. He's red and green. So what's your boys' theories for next week? Let's get into them. Nat, you first. Theories, episode 3.
Episode 3. I think we're moving on to like the more modern style of sitcoms. So it's gonna be all in color for sure. We might get into Wanda's like children or child. I don't know how many children are. Usually sometimes these shows they throw in twins just for the heck of it. Who knows? Maybe they'll do that here. But I think we're gonna learn more about that side of the story. I think we're gonna do a good old time skip because why not? It's Marvel. I mean, there's not much really happening at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think it only makes sense for them to move on to like next part of the show be like Wanda with children, and then with a more modern style of sitcom. I guess we'll go from there.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. Almost to a dime, because I think I'd go with Nathaniel on the whole twins theory as well. One's possible, but I think the show is a little bit more interesting, especially because Wanda is a twin herself, right? Or twin or sibling?
so.
Twin.
She is a twin.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not out in left field on that one.
No,
but
she
yeah.
is a twin.
So I think that kind of forms that connection again. I have no idea where we're going with this plot. I don't think we get out of this simulation or whatever you want to call it next episode. So that kind of leaves me questioning what the big push is going to be. But it'll be more modern. It'll be in color, and that's. I got a lot of speculation for next week, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to necessarily go straight to more modern. In my theory, it's going to be more like the 70s, 80s. They're going to move into the, because they still have, after this, they still have 7 episodes. So I think we're going to have at least 5 episodes that are this sitcom thing. And I think we're slowly going to move through to the modern, and then we'll get to the modern and like maybe the last 2 of the sitcoms or whatever, and then it's going to break out of the simulation and we're going to go full-blown Marvel movie, endgame level fights or something. But for next episode specifically, I think by the end at least, we see the birth of her children or child, whatever it is. I think we get into maybe 1 or more wacky adventures with the neighbors. I definitely don't think we'll see too much more of what's happening outside the simulation yet. I think maybe episode 4 or 5 is when we'll really get to start seeing a clear picture of what's happening outside her simulation. But I could be wrong. Maybe we find out a lot next episode. But I'm really excited. Are you guys?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
What do we think for length? We think it's going to get longer, or is it going to get shorter? Because we had 29, episode 1, 36, episode 2. Now take 8 minutes out for credits, but what do you think?
It makes sense for them to go longer, right? Like
That's
more modern day sitcoms are getting longer by the day. You don't have to worry about like commercials anymore, right? So technically they can go longer. So I assume they would go at least max cap out an hour. Maybe by the end around an hour per episode, but I guess that's just hopeful.
Yeah.
I think next episode's still going to be around that 30, 35, but I think by the last 3, they'll be, like you said, like an hour.
Yeah.
I also hope next week we still get a commercial. That'd be nice.
Yeah, we need to keep those every single
For
episode.
at least for a while, yeah. So that's all from us this week. I'd like everyone to click that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications, and like this video. If you want other ways to find out about our reviews, go check out our social media through Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And also, if you like just reviews in general, we have a website, www.prairiegrownreviews.com. Go check that out for different movies, games, and book reviews for your reading pleasure. So, from everyone here at the Prairie Grown Reviews team, see you next time.